All right, so hi everyone. Am I audible and can see my screen, everyone? Just give me an acknowledge.
Yeah, I have the values. It's visible.
Hi. Yeah, you're very audible.
Perfect, thank you very much. So, as you can see my screen as well, right? My screen is visible to everyone. There's Ganesh, Nazeef. Can you see my screen? Asbab?
Yes, bro.
Perfect, all right, that's fine. So, guys, as per our previous discussions, we have seen about what is the process, like whenever we talk about the DORA process will be there within DHCP, right? How the IP address can be get allocated to the user. So we have something called as a discover, offer, request, acknowledge, and there are certain communications between the client and server where it is at. In order to perform this DORA process, we know that the port number where they have it, like 68, 67 based on the DHCP. The client sends the discover packet, then a response will comes as an offer, then the the client will give a request for an IP address, and finally the IP address will be given an acknowledge for the user. Based on that, where the user will get an IP address. Correct. Now let's go ahead and see. So if we'll see that we have an IP addresses, correct? Now what are the IP addresses we have it? What are the classes we have it? Class A, class B, class C, right? So mostly we'll see the IP addresses something like that. We have a class A IP address. We have the class we can see that the class B IP address we have it, and then we have the class C. Class D, we have also the class D and class C, which can be used for the different purpose. Now we can see the class A, class B, and class C IP addresses when we have it. So when we use the class A, when we use the class B, when we use the class C, this is my question here. Can anybody tell me that if you have any idea about it? Yes.
Class A, Class B for WAN network, and Class C for local area network.
Mm-hmm.
Class C for local area network. Class A and Class B public network, a public IP provided by Class A and Class B.
So, well, in private also we have a class A, class B, class C. In public also we have three IP addresses. Are you getting my point? It's
You
not
can say
only
that.
that only the private specifically A is private, B is public, C is private. It's not like that, right or not? Yes. So it
So,
depends upon, I'll tell you. These classes, class A, class B, or class C, when we are using, it all depends upon the number of traffic what we have it here. It depends upon the large traffic which can be there when we have it. The it depends upon large corporate where we have it. We have the medium area traffic. We have low area traffic. So it depends upon the larger network, medium network, and the smaller network. Based on that, let me show you something about it. Now, guys, if we'll talk about the class A IP address, right? So class A, how many network we have it? One network. So how many hosts can be there here?
Three
How many
hosts.
hosts? Three hosts.
three,
One network and we have the three hosts
three
here. We
hosts.
know that very well. So one network and three hosts we have in the class A. Class B, how many network we have it? We have the two
Two,
network
Two
and we
hosts.
have the two hosts, right? So we have the two hosts here. So in the class B, we can see that the two network and two hosts. And in the class C, we see that we have three networks, right? Three network and one
host.
host. We have one host. So two. So here, what do you mean by the host? What is host?
Four clients. Host, uh,
Hosts are nothing
host
but the
provided for
client
client. Client.
devices, right or no?
Yes.
Right. So whenever we are seeing that, hosts are nothing but the devices. Can I say that like that, everyone? Yes or no? Network is a part of an IP address to identify the specific network. But when I talk about the host to identify specific device, right? It can be the computers, phones, printers, iPhones, or it can be certain like tabs, or it can be considered certain where we have like televisions, all those on the network. So it's like the number of devices that connect to the network is called as a host. Am I clear, everybody? Yes.
Yes.
So how many hosts can be there? How many hosts can be there in the class A? How many hosts can be there in the class B? How many hosts can be there in the class C? Which define the size of the network. So here if we can see that what is the size of the total IP address? Can I say that 32 bits? Yes or no? Right? 32 bits, that's equal to 4 bytes. Correct? Everyone? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, 4 byte means 1 byte. 1 byte is equal to what? 1 byte is equal to what?
One slot, one host.
No. Yeah, 1 octet. 1 octet.
Octet. Yes. Sorry. Octet.
1 octet, right? 1 octet.
Yes.
So 1 byte is equal to, can I say the 8 bits? Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
1 byte is equal to 8 bits, na? So if you have a 4 bits, means 32 bits will be there, right? 4 byte means 32 bits can be there, correct? Yes or no? Means like 4 into 8. How much? 4 into 8. That is
Okay.
equal to 32, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we can see that each octet is of 8 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4. So means like the complete size of one IP address is 32 bits, or we can say that 4 byte. Am I clear, everybody, till here?
Can you repeat it again?
Yes. See the size of one IP address. The size of one IP address, 4 bytes. Correct?
Okay.
One
Okay.
octet, one byte, one octet. 1 byte, 1 octet. So how many octet we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 octet is 4 byte. Yes, correct.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Now, so 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. So means we have the 4 octet means can I say in the form of bits is 32, in the form of bytes is 4 byte. Correct now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if we have class A IP address, so total 32 bits, right? So how many? So I
Okay.
want to separate network and host here. So can I say that 32 minus 8? Yes, that's equal to 24. Am I clear, everyone?
Yes.
Now, why this minus 8? Because this is total 32 bits. So if I say that network is only 8 bits and this is all are the three 8 bits, it means like something like this. Let's understand that. I mean to say you something like this here. If I'll see that this is 8 bits, this is 8 bit, this host is 8 bit, this is 8 bit, this is 8 bits, right? So these are all are the 8 bits. Now only host if I'll take, so 8 plus 8, 16, 16 plus 8, 24, correct?
24.
Right or no?
Yes.
So
Yes.
24
Yes.
host, it means like, can I say that in the class A, network is 8 bits and the host is 24 bits. Is that okay, everybody? Yes or no?
Yes.
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 Network is 8 bits, host is 24 bits here,
24
where
bits.
we can see that here. So now we have seen like, here the network is 8 bits and the host is 24 bits in the class A IP address. Let me make it more clear here. Let us make it, this is for class A. So the same thing if I talk about in the class B, let's see that this is for the class A, we got it. Now the same thing if I talk about the class B. So how many network can be there in the class B?
Two
If I say
networks.
So
two network, right? So can I
Yes.
say that, can I say that 16 bits as a network, 16 bits as a host? Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
yeah.
this is class B. Now the same thing, if I talk about the class C, in the class C, what happens? 8 bits is the network.
24
24 bits. 24 bits is the network and 8 bits is the host.
host.
Yes. 3 network and 1 host, na? Correct?
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes.
Yes. So we can see that this is the process we have. Now, if I'll say how many IP addresses, how many hosts can I get here? How many hosts can I get here? So for that, can I say that this calculation 2 to the power of total 2 to the power of 24 I have to do it, right? So if I'll say that, let me make it 2 to the power of 24. Let's see that. So 2 to the power of 24 means around 16 million IP address I'm getting here, right? Around an approx, let's see that. So we can see that here we get an IP address as 60 million IP address for the class A we have it, right? Now for the class B, how many we have it? Class B is 16, right? Yes or no? Hosts are the 16,
Yes.
65,536. So this is the class B here. So we can see that the class B IP address is there. Now class C is 8 hosts, right or not? So 256. So here we can see that 256 IP addresses here. Now with this, we clearly understood, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
So what are the large network? What are the medium scale? What is the small network? Correct? Yes or
Yes.
no?
Yes.
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 So we left here some of the IP address that we know the two IP address. Zero hasn't been considered as a subnet mask. 255 we can use for like broadcast like this. Based on that we get an IP. So overall, this is used for the larger network. This is used for the medium scale network, and this is used for the smaller area network. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone is agree with this?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, guys, so what is the total size of the IP version 4 here?
Again, sir.
What is the total size of IP version 4? What is the what is the total size of IP version 4 here?
Total multiply, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Total
So 2 to the
multiply.
power of 32, right? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
2 to the power of
32.
32. Correct? So that
Yes.
will be the total size. So it's get around 4 billion here. Yes. 4.3 billion approx we can say that. So the total
Yes.
IP address where we have it as 4.3 billions where I can see like this many this many IP addresses we have it in the IP version 4 here. Now,
Yes.
guys, let us understand that if I'll say like 4.3 billion addresses we have it here in the IP version 4 because it is the size is 32 bits. Now, what is the total population? So, what we have it in the entire world. If I'll see that, how many total populations we have it?
8 billion.
Hmm? 8 billion, right?
8 billion.
Around 8 billions we have it. So, IP addresses we have only 4 billions. Like, what about the next 4 billion people? Yes or no?
Yes.
Are you getting my point? If they want to get an access, how they can? It will be a shortest of an IP, right? The IP address will make it
Yes.
short, right? So for that, we have the IP version 6 here. Now, if I'll say that the IP version 6, what is the size of IP version 6? So it is 32, as we can see the 32 bits one when we have seen for the IP version 4. The same way, if I talk about the size of IP version 6, when we are seeing that, it will comes 128 bits. The size of this is 128 bits here. So if I'll say that, total how many IP addresses can we get it here? So if I'll say that 128 bits if I'm taking it, so I'll get very, very huge IP address. Trillions, 3.4 trillions. Are you getting my point, everyone?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
3.4 trillions, it means like, imagine a situation. We have 8 billion people, right?
Yes.
Entire world. Now, one person, if it is making like out of its 8 billion people, one person, if it keep it 1 lakh different devices and they get unique IP address also, it will not get reduced. You got my point, everyone, right? Is it that clear? Means like entire world we have it. All the people, if they are keeping, one person is keeping, like 1 lakh different devices, and they have 1 lakh different unique IP addresses from the IP version 4.6, IP version 6, even though the IP address will be not get shorted. Correct? You got my point. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you now.
Sorry, there was a network problem. Okay. So my question was, if suppose if we are keeping it like one person, if it's keeping eight, like when we are seeing that we have 8 billion people, right? So one person, if it's keeping like 1 lakh different devices, also the IP address will be not get shorted. Correct? Yes.
This is IP version 6, right?
Yes, Nazir. I'm talking about IP version 6. Okay. So because we are getting 3.4 trillion IP addresses, you got my point. So it will be never being shorted here. So if we'll see that how the IP version 6 can be there, how it's look like, let's have a look on this. Are you able to see this? This is my IP version 4 and this is my IP version 6. Are you able to see this everyone?
Yes.
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 This is the IP version 6. Even if you can just type like on your computer, you get an IP version 6. It just comes into the hexadecimal form. So this is how the hexadecimal form will be there for the IP version 6 whenever we are seeing that. Okay. So it is a 3.4 trillions. We can like any out of addresses, like range out of addresses will never be there. Now, if I talk about the IP version 6, there is no classes. Class A, class B, class C will be not there. So unique IP addresses can be there for the user. So they whenever they have been getting, they'll get one unique IP address where they can get. This is how the IP version 6 can be look like, and that is the purpose of that. So overall, we got to know some decent knowledge about the IP addresses. So we have discussed something in detail when it is comes on IP address. What are the things are there? So we know like it's in combinations of 4 octets, which we have discussed that. We have discussed that the IP addresses are the two types. One is a public IP address, other is a private IP address. So public IP address is a chargeable. If any system need to connect to the internet, at least they should have one public IP address. And any IP addresses which are going to connect to the the network that need one private IP address. Now, guys, I want you to ask, how is that possible? The private IP address and public IP address can work.
Again, sir.
Private IP and public IP can get communicate. Is that
Not directly through router.
Through
uh,
the router, yes.
how it would be?
So we have internet, and then we have a router, and then we have our local network.
Yeah.
Two different network connect through the router. That's why not directly communicate. So,
Yes. See, what
router
happens,
public.
I'll tell you, whenever we talk about this process, right, there is something called as a NAT. Have you heard about the NAT? Network Address Translation.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah, network address translation is a method used by the router to translate our private IP address to the public IP address before sending the data to the internet. It helps us to convey all the communications whenever it is happens, right? So they have the process. They have some mapping method. The private IP address they map on the public IP address. So then if they receive the data, then private IP address map on the pool of public IP address through which the communications happens. So many private IP address share one public IP address using the different port. That is the reason we have the PAT system also. So it means like, let me just give you one overview about it. So whenever we are seeing that, there is a process called as NAT and we have, sorry, NAT and PAT. So what is the NAT? NAT is nothing but the network address translation. Let me explain you something here. See guys, if I'll say that, let me see that if I'm going to the Facebook, okay? If I'm going to the Facebook, so what is an IP address of Facebook here? 163.70.140.35, correct? Yes,
Yes.
everyone. So
Yeah.
this is an IP address of Facebook. So is a private IP address or public IP address?
Public.
100% is a public IP address, right? So this is the public IP address, as we can see that. Now the same thing, if I'll talk about my computer here. So as we can see that over our computer, I have an IP address. So what is this IP address? Private or public?
Private.
Private.
Private. So here we can see that this is my private IP address, 192.168.0.173. If we can see that this is my private IP address I have here. So whenever we see that, whatever the request we said, so that will never get communicated directly between the private and public or public and private here. So with these private IP address, it means like how I'm getting access in internet through these private IP address. So it means like, let's consider this is my computer. Okay. This is my computer which is connected to the router. The router is connected to the ISP service, correct or not? It's like
Yes.
if if I connected to this router directly, I can't get an access to the internet. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Between between my computer and like between my computer and router, the communications happens with this IP address. We know that. But if I want to connect to the internet, so I should have an internet services here. Correct? Yes
Yes.
or no? So the
Yes.
ISP services I must require. Now, ISP services is nothing but where I may get one IP address here. So, what is that IP address can be there if I am getting to this ISP? So, it can be a
The public.
public IP address, right? So, how this it would be like? Let's see that.
255, 192.
Sorry. Give me 1 minute. Right. So, here we can see that we need one public IP address. So, my public. So, here you can see that this is my public IP address, correct? Yes, everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
So, what I can see that I have one public IP address here. So this public IP address is this one through which I'm getting communicate. Correct. Now, if I'm giving a
Yes.
request, I'm giving a request that I need to send it the request. So that is going to the, let's say that here we have the server. What is that server? Let's say that Facebook server, right? So if I want to
Yes.
reach to the Facebook here, the Facebook IP address, we know that this is my Facebook IP address. Correct. Now, if I
Yes.
want to reach to this Facebook IP address, means like there is no direct communications between this private to the public IP address. They should be required the public to public IP address. Correct now? Is that clear, everybody?
Yes.
Right? So the natting is help us here. So what the NAT will do it here, so they'll map this complete process here. The NAT is nothing but which is telling that whenever we are reaching to the certain services, right? Whenever we are giving that request, it mapped to the public IP address through which the communications happens. It means like what? See, I have sent it a request here. I have sent it a request that I need to access to the facebook.com. I send it like www.facebook.com. Correct? Yes.
Yes.
So the request will go to the where? To the router. Now router is doing the natting method. So what happens? The IP address we have it 192 192.168.0.173. So this is my private IP address is there. So this request is went to the NAT. So here the router will receive this. Router have the NATing system. So router, what it will do it, this IP address is mapped to the public IP address. So this is our public IP address here. You can see that. So the request will be come to this IP address. So the request will be sent to the Facebook with this IP address because this is a public IP address, right? So the facebook.com has received here and this IP address mapped to this IP address and this IP address is getting communicated back to the 163.70 dot as we can see that. So this is an IP address of Facebook, correct or not?
Yes, direct.
So the request, whatever we send it, so the request will go to this IP address, something like this here. So the request will go from here and the request will come back. Whenever I want to receive the request will come back from here to this IP address. From here, this request will be sent to this user. Okay. Now, if you ask me, okay, this is for the one IP address, but what about the other IP address? Might be a different users are there, na? There will be a several other user also there on the network, correct? Yes. And they also giving the request. So here, see, we have one IP address, let's consider as 173, right? So 192.168.0.173. But also there is one IP address 192.168.0.174. Possibilities are there, na? 192.168.0.176, something like that. Is there, right? So it means can I say that there might be a users one user is there with the mobile, one user is there with the laptop, one user is there with the desktop. Possibilities are there or not? Everyone.
Yeah, multiple devices.
Multiple devices are there. So these multiple devices are using the single public IP address, correct? Because all these users are connected to the same router.
Yes.
And this is also possible that all users are sending the request to the same Facebook. This is also possibilities are there, na?
Yes.
Yes or no? So the request, whatever we are sending it is going with the help of the different patting system here. We have used the PAT. What is the PAT here? PAT means what? Port address translation. As we have seen the network address translation, the similar way the port address translations also it happens. The port address translations are nothing but they maintain some the different port for the users here. Let's say that this is an IP address we have it, right? So there will be a different the public and private ports will be there here. So it means if I'll say that this has been sending with the some ports here, right? So this is has been considered as some private port. Let's understand it. For private port for private IP addresses here. So we can see that there is some private ports we have it. Now what is that private port? Let's take example. I can say that in example here when we are sending this request. So the private port can be anything. Let's take an example, something like that, 5000, 5001, where we have it, that can be a 5002, that can be a. So this is the ports, right, where the user have received here, right? So the request which is sending it from the mobile, laptop or desktop, that's are going something like this here. So on the different port, they are maintaining the record, correct? Now, here we have the public IP address. What is our public IP address guys here? This one, na? Yes or no?
Yeah, 103.
Yes.
Yes. So we can see that our public IP address will be the same for all users, correct?
Yes.
Public IP addresses will be the same for all the users here. So it means this will be the same IP address for all the users here. But they have received the request with the different port here, right? Isn't it or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, there is a destination IP address. So if I'll say that the destination IP address can also be the same, is that possible or not?
Yes.
Yeah, it's possible. Same
So
application.
yeah, destination be a same. That means all three have been using Okay. So destination IP address also be the same here. Let's say that here. So while we are sending this request, when we are sending this request to the destination IP here, so there is some port is also there. It created some public port also because the translation port we call it. So these port also can be get created here. So why this port is created? Because the request should come back from the public. So this is the private is getting communicated, but the public IP address destination also get communicated. Na? So if it is request receiving from the same IP address, so the support also required here to differentiate this request. Correct? Yes or no? So that here, so in the private, we are differentiating this. If the packet comes from to these 5,000 port, will reply to the 5,000 port. But if it is coming to the destination, how the destination is getting communicated? So for that, let's say that this is my translation port here. Are you getting my point, everybody?
Yeah. Translation port.
Yeah, this is the port translations where we can see that. So what would be the destination port here? You must answer me this. What would be the
This would be the
destination?
it can be same, brother. If
No,
everyone are
no, no,
accessing
no,
the
no, no,
same
no.
Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook is there. Facebook destination port is always it will be something 443, right? Yes or no? HTTPS, na?
Server, HTTPS,
Yeah,
yes.
yes, na? Are you getting my
Mm-hmm.
point,
Yes,
everybody?
yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Destination port can be this one here. I'm just giving you one rough idea here to get you better understanding. Correct? Yes or no? Yeah. So the request, whatever we send it over here, this is how the communications happen. This is how, they will send it the request and they get communicated. So we can see that the same IP address, when I talk about it, is sending the request. So we have a different natting and patting systems which can be used here to send it. Correct? Is that so clear, everybody?
Iftikhar, bro, I have one doubt. Like,
Mhm.
this is a scenario of using the Facebook, right? So I have one question. Like, sometime
Sometimes if you have
if you are googling the result, for
result,
example,
for
why
example,
the website is
why the
not
website
working
is not
properly?
working.
No, your sound is echoing.
Hello.
Yeah,
Next.
give me 1 minute. Now, Nazir, you can unmute and talk to me.
Now my voice is clear, brother.
Yes, now it's clear.
Yeah, this is a scenario of Facebook, right? Like if everyone using the Facebook from the different devices, this is the same scenario. IP addresses are same, and just the ports are different. But when it comes to the website like results or any other different government websites, we are going to access that. Why the websites are going to be crash? What will be the reason? Because the public and private ports are different, right? Because everyone using from the different ports, but still the system is getting error. So what would be the cause for that?
See, that is a different part. I'll tell you. What here I'm telling you, Nazir, this is the way where the communications happen, right? Now it means like as we have given the request here for the Facebook, right? Let's take example. You as an user, you have sent a request from like one. Let's see that our IP address is 192.168.0.173. Okay. So we are working on the port number 5,000. Okay. For this service only, this particular service. But if you go to the Google service, that will be a different port will come. It's not the same port, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
So you might be go to the multiple websites through which you can do it. Now, your question is that if you're giving a request to the particular web application, that web application is not working or it is getting crashed, what is that reason? Correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly, bro.
No, it is all depends upon different parameter and factors. First factor is that what would be the capacity? Like how much traffic it can consume on the particular resources well we've been sending on it. What is the server uses are there? What type of traffic is coming? The first reason. Let's say that in an example there is some occasion is there where they have the New Year sales or something like that. Or there maybe you ask me about the government website like results when the results is coming.
Exactly.
or some certain certain policy they have released. That might be a chances, right? The government policies where we have it. So the entire state, city, or might be entire nations are going to get an access to that. In that time, that
Yeah,
system will be so busy, correct?
exactly.
Right? We not be able to get handle it here. That is whenever we get the request, the capacity got increased. That's the reason people not will be able to get that. Even if you see the result day, there is a hundreds of users have been trying to that web application. In that it shows the server is busy. It will not get an access easily, correct?
Yeah, it get error.
Or it might be a certain time is when we are booking some slot. In that case also it happens because there is a
Exactly.
huge people are there. So those are comes on the high traffic. So this is one of the normal condition, the legit condition. But it is
Mm-hmm.
also a threat process. Means like the attackers might may have planned certain attack to these applications that will be considered as a DDoS attacks, distributed denial of services attack. So that attack will plan in order to make sure that the legit user should not be able to get an access to the services. So that attack is designed to consume the resources on the target computers. It can be the RAM, CPUs, uses. So that will make it the huge traffic up on that particular target system through which when the legit traffic is going, the legit user is giving a request, that will be get dropped. Got it, Nasir? Nazir?
Yeah, I got you, brother. Now I got it, brother.
So their reasons are there. Okay, there are the certain reason where we can see that this is of the possibilities are there where the cyber attacks may happen to the applications, right? What would be the most cause of this application, when the attack happens? So the first cause is that the attackers trying to find out some data breach in order to steal the information. That is the first thing. Second thing is that it's trying to be get an admin to do some financial losses to the financial institute that might be withdrawing certain amount unauthorized. The third part of the web application attack is that to inject some malicious link on that where the page can be redirected to the somewhere else. That is the other part. That is
Yeah, it's
the
happened many times.
yeah, and also that might be a chances of that this attack pattern may happen to make user service down. Service down is that to make it high traffic on that particular target system. So when there is a high traffic is comes on the particular target system, in that case the user will not able to get an access. Whenever the legit user are giving the request to get an access to those services, in that case those systems will get trashed on or something like it's happened. So those are the possibilities are there. You got my point, everybody?
Yes, brother.
Okay. So those are the some areas where we can see whenever we have it any sort of the process or any systems have been working, so those are the areas where we can see this is how it works, correct? Till here is clear, everybody?
Yes, brother.
Yes.
For me, it's clear.
Anyone have any sort of doubt, please feel free to ask me.
Repeat, sir, again,
Sorry.
Pat, port address
In
translation again, repeat, sir.
Sure.
in summary, sorry. In summary, what you're saying is that when a particular site is down or slow, the major cause in summary is traffic. If the traffic is much,
Yes, if the traffic is more, that might be a task. Okay. But there is not only depends on one parameter about the traffic. It depends. It depends upon the type of request we are getting. So that might be some reasons are there about the client error. We have some reason about the server error, right? So it means if you see that example, uh, something like that. Let me just give you. We have the web response code, right? Which we can identify what are the things is happening. Example, mm, let's see that. If I'm going, so that will be something like this here. Let me explain you that. So we have web response code or web response web status. status code we can see that is better. So it can be into the 100, it can be to the 200, 300, 400, and 500. Like this, the response code will be there, right? 100, it's been used for information gathering. Okay. 200, it can be used for, like, okay. That can be the success where we can see that. For the success, we can use. Or 300, it can be used for redirection. Have you heard about this, guys? Anytime? 400 can be used for client error. Then 500 can be used for server error. Have you heard about this code anytime?
No.
Okay, let me explain you that. So if I'll say that, let's imagine, like, I'm going to this, I'm going to the network here. Okay. Now what I'll do it here, I'll try to reach to the one of the service. Let's say that I'm going to the Amazon. So when I reach to the Amazon service here, the page is successfully came here, right? Are you able to see this here, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
when the pages came correctly, are you see the status code? What is the status code here?
200.
200.
Like, we have reached successfully this, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
This is what I want to say, that 200, okay, right? 300, what is that?
Redirection.
Redirection. What do you mean by that? So it means, like, let us see that I'm typing HTTP here, not HTTPS. What is that? HTTP, right? So I'm typing the HTTP here. I'm going to any website. Let's see that Amazon.com. So when I type the HTTP here, what happens? The first thing is that you can see that. So once I first click on these, okay, it's not giving a request on this. Let us see that some other application. Okay. So guys, here if you can see that when I'm saying that I have given a request. What is that request here? Can you see this here? What is the get request?
300.
No, get. Can you see this
Get
address? What is that?
HTTP.
HTTP.
HTTP flipkart.com, right? We have given a request at http flipkart.com. So when I've given this request, so it says the 300, it is moved. So it redirected to where, what location?
Flipkart.com.
HTTPS.
HTTPS. You
Oh,
got my point.
HTTPS.
It's like it's a redirections. Are you getting my point, everybody?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
it's a redirection. Okay. Now here I'm saying the Flipkart. I'm just typing some random address here. Can you see this here? Do you think like this can be an any website? It can be any page. Yes,
No.
it might be, but this is can be considered the client error, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
So here, if you can see that, if I'll go to see this page, you can see that I'm not getting any reply here, right? Unfortunately, the page you're looking has been removed or deleted, or it is not there,
Deleted.
right? It's not there. But that is a number here. But 404, it says the client error. This is I am a client, right? I have typed this wrong address, correct or not?
Yeah.
Correct.
You getting my point, everybody? So it means
Yeah.
like it says the client error. So this is the codes where you can give a particular process where we can understand is that happens or not. And now if you ask me, the 200 is also there. What is this 200? So this 200 is for these replies here. We got some reply now. We got this image, right or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? So this image, GIF image, and so on. So if I'll open to the new tab, these you can see that what are the black screen we are getting it. So I can see that like no whatever the method we are getting, whatever the screens we are getting in, all those areas. So those informations here you can see this picture is here, right or not?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
So this is how like the codes can be. Now it's clear, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So somebody asked me to explain about the PAT one more time, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
They asked you, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. See, when I say the PAT, now what exactly the PAT is doing it here, whenever we are talking about that. So PAT, which is mapping the different port here. Okay. So we have seen that NAT is using the multiple private IP address to map on the one public IP address. Correct?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes. The similar
Yes.
way, the PAT is use a different port number to keep the stations in the unique here. It's like, we can see that there are the three different devices are there. So laptop, desktop, computers, TV, whatever it may be. So all
Hmm.
these three devices accessing a website at the same time on the same
Okay.
website. Correct?
Okay.
On the
Yes.
same website. So they have that private port is different, right? So
Hmm.
how those same website requests can be go? So the request need to be get differentiate with the port numbers here. There will be a
Okay.
different port number. It's similar like, I'll tell you. We have students in the schools. They are wearing the same uniform. Wearing the same uniform.
Hmm.
So how we can
Hmm.
identify with the uniform? No, right? We have the rule number to get identify them. Their name is there, right or not?
Uh, Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Are you
right.
getting me? Take an example. So the port number is similar like that, which user have sent it the request. Correct?
Hmm. Hmm.
Are you getting my point, everybody?
Yes. Yes.
So this is how the ports can be get translated. So the network address translation and port address translation, something this one, which is the most important part for us.
Yes. Understood.
Got it?
Yes.
All right. So that's it for today's session, guys. I believe we got some good information regarding this. Okay. So the next sessions we're going
Just
to discuss about the network types. Okay. What are the networks? What are the network topologies are there? How those network can get connect with the multiple areas? What is the WAN network, LAN network, MAN network, and what are the topologies we use under that? What are the network devices are there? So I'm gonna spend some more days, 2 or 3 days more, mostly 3 days, to get understand the complete networking before we get into the security. Okay?
Okay.
just a quick question
Yes, please.
about IP6. If you just give a short um, explanation, please.
Yeah. You want me to explain you about the IP version 6?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure. See, when we talk about when we have seen that the IP version 4 we have it, right? So IP version 4, if we'll do the calculations in a very simple way, it's a 4.4.3 billions, right? How it will comes, as we know, 2 to the power of 32 when we have 32 is the size. Now, what is the size of IP version 6 is 128 bits. 128 bits means it comes like almost like 3.4 trillions IP address will be there. Okay. In the trillions we'll get it. So when we get these IP addresses, IP version 6, in the IP version 4, we have seen class A, class B, and class C, class D, class E, right? But here there is no classes. There is no need of separations here because we have the unique and huge number of IP addresses are there. So whenever the user get an access to the IP version 6, there can be a unique number for each person here. So how this IP version 6 can be look like, what are the things are there? If you can see that, it is coming into the hexadecimal form, right? The size of these IP addresses is a 128, bits we can say. 128 bits can be a size of this IP. So the unique address will can get allocated. There is no shortage because it's almost like 3.4 trillions. It means like if we have the users, right? If we have a user, one user is using 1 lakh different devices and they are getting 1 lakh different different IP addresses also, there will be no shortage. You got my point?
Yes.
Yes, but nowadays it's not common, yes? Or
Yeah,
it's just
still,
by default?
yeah, it is there. Still, we started communicating with the IP version 6 also, but the most of it is still we are using 2 only. But might be the time is very soon where we can switch to the IP version 6 complete.
Oh, I
Okay.
see.
Please.
Thank you.
Okay. Please,
But
one more
but
question, sir.
Mm-hmm,
Okay. Parts means private port, right?
mm-hmm.
NAT, what's the meaning of NAT?
Network address translation, port address translation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so now we will talk about, we will get lecture about, not tomorrow, as you said.
We have discussed about the NAT now. Here we have discussed about NAT only, right? Network address translations is nothing but how we translate our private IP address to the public IP address. That is the NAT method here. Can you see this here? So means NAT is a method used by the router to translate all the private IP address to the public IP address. So here the private IP address is getting translated to the public IP address. Can you see this here?
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Sir, in case of IP version 6, how can identify network ID and host ID like that?
Yeah, we don't have that. We don't have that. That is what I'm saying here. There is no
Okay.
network and host concept there. There is no
Okay.
natting patting also. There is no
Okay.
required any natting patting in the IP version 6
Mhm.
because we have like huge IP addresses now. All are the unique IP addresses. You got it, my point,
So,
everybody?
so there
Yes.
will be no this process, right? Like different private ports, public IP,
Yes,
public port.
yes. We don't have
No,
that.
Direct simple using a unique IP address to access the website.
no need
Yes.
router. No need router in that case, sir.
No, router will be there na. How to like router is to be get
Uh,
connected to the WAN na,
Uh,
right? I'm talking about the IP addresses. Like there is no limitations on that na.
okay.
There's a huge IP addresses. Yeah.
I got it, brother.
All right. Any other doubts? Any questions?
Bro, do
No,
we
thank you.
have to make any notes for this?
Yeah, I will send you this all material. Do not worry about it.
Oh, perfect, brother.
May I know your consultant? Who's your consultant, Nazi?
His name is, I guess, Sohail, I guess. Sohail, brother.
Okay. Okay. So we are going to make it the group, WhatsApp group very soon. So all the resources will be sent to that group very soon. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, brother.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you very
Thank you.
much.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
Take
Thank you.
care.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, everyone.